Hello, everybody! How's everybody doing? We have had some sunshine, and it just makes you feel better, doesn't it? A little dose of vitamin D. You know, we're not going too far, but, you know, a little bit and everything. Good. I love that. You know, sometimes you just gotta believe, right? No matter what's going on, you just gotta believe. Once upon a time, when little Thomas Edison was about, I guess he was probably about 7, he comes running home, and he's bringing in his report card, and he's got a special letter and everything from the principal. And he takes it, "Mom, it's a special letter." And so his mom says, "Okay, son, let's take a look at that." So she takes a look, first of all, at his grades, and she goes, "Mm-hmm." And then she opens the letter. And he's watching her. "Am I in trouble? What's going on?" All of a sudden, his mother looks at him. She has this bright smile on her face. She goes, "Well, son, here's the next step. The principal says you are a genius, and they can't teach you any longer at school. They just can't do it. They're not qualified. I'm going to have to teach you at home from here out because you're simply a genius." Thomas Edison says, "I'm a genius?" All this time he thought he was having some difficulty, and he kind of saw things differently. His chest pumped up. He goes, "Okay, Mom, I'm going to be good. Okay, you're going to teach me from here on out." And he's all excited and all that good stuff. And then he went through life. I mean, my gosh, the man was what? He was a wonderful inventor. Everything went wonderful until his mom died. His mom was kind of like me. She was a hoarder. So in her attic, she had everything he'd ever done, everything that had anything, schoolwork, the whole 9 yards. And so he goes in and he says, "Oh, I'm going to go through all Mom's stuff." He goes, "Oh, I remember this one that came from Principal Jones. I can't wait." I never read it myself. He just goes, "What?" He said, "Well, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Mrs. Edison. Your son is an idiot. We are never going to be able to teach him anything. Please keep him at home. Sincerely, the principal." And you can imagine how Thomas Edison felt. He was like, "What? Are you?" He couldn't believe it. He couldn't, because his mom told him, "Hey, you're a genius." And she told him every day, "You are a genius." Until what? He began to believe he was a genius. You know, he had a couple of difficulties and everything with reading and everything, but she worked through them. Why? Because he's a genius. He always knew he could do it, and she'd say, "Oh, don't worry, honey. Remember, you're a genius." Isn't that amazing? And it's the same thing about you. You got this. If you just started working out, you're kind of thinking, "Oh man, my balance, my flexibility's off. What am I going to do?" You're going to be just fine. You are going to make this happen. I don't even want you to worry about it. So when you're out there and you're thinking, "What can I do to make this better?" Maybe you know you've got some difficulties. Maybe your balance is a little off. You can't do this, that kind of thing. Give me a call. Let's talk about it. You can reach me at 360-447-8061. We're going to talk about maybe what some of your difficulties have been, what you think they've been, or if you just haven't had the motivation to get off the couch and actually come and make this happen. You have to remember, you can do it. You know, when you have somebody, a good teacher perhaps. Now, we just went through, what was it, Teacher Appreciation Week. And when you have a good teacher, no matter what, whether it's your mother, an actual teacher, or whatever, it really works. And teachers do a fantastic job, don't they? It's just amazing. I have a friend of mine, and his name is John Hancock. He's a teacher in our local area. He teaches little bitty kids here, I think 3rd graders if I'm not mistaken. He does a fantastic job. And now that he's had to pivot, as I call it, because he's taking care of kids and making sure things are happening online and he's keeping in contact with them, it's made him an even better teacher. I mean, it's just awesome. I love that. So my hat's off to John. He's a great teacher. So if you're thinking now, you're thinking, what can I do? I want to do something that kind of really helps me. Well, I love squats, okay? And there are so many variations of squats that you can do. It's just amazing. Now, if you're thinking you want to kind of do something maybe a little different, you've seen the regular ones, and keep in mind, you can do assisted squats. If you're having a hard time with balance and you can't get down there, if you have hip problems, that kind of thing, don't let this stop you, okay? Remember, you have got to believe you can do this. Now, for this exercise, what I'm going to do is I've got my wonderful handy weight right here. 5 pounds, okay? And so what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to go ahead and push this puppy up like this, and then I'm going to squat and up and squat. And by doing this, what I'm doing now is I'm working my lower body, of course, as you can see, and I'm also working my upper body. And you can do is take your time. Sometimes that kind of maybe will help you with your balance. Bam. And then I can do a few that way, and then of course I can go up like this. Boom. Bring that puppy down. Isn't that awesome? You can really feel that. So that's something else you can do. And you can do many different repetitions. I would say if you start out with about 10 repetitions, give yourself a little bit of a break in between hands. Just take your time. It's all right. You don't have to worry about it. Just nice. Boom. See, you're getting that in there. You're getting your arms in there too. Yes! Good job. You guys are out there doing that. That's wonderful. Now, when it comes to squats, you can do them, like I said, in many, many different ways. And if you're working on your legs, this is really good. And you might even start just with squats. You can give yourself a squat challenge and say, you know what? Every day I'm going to do some squats today. I'm going to get things moving. You can do this. It's not a big deal. Just believe you can do it. And like I said, if you need to talk about it or kind of see what you're doing and everything, you can even reach me on Facebook. And we're at Wellness Works Northwest. You can reach us on Facebook or wellnessworksnorthwest.com. Kind of tell me what you're doing. So let's just say that you have decided that you really want to work those legs. So you start with your legs out. I guess it's a little bit over a couple of shoulders widths, if you will. And just kind of go over to the side just a little bit. What I'm trying to do right now is kind of work on those old hip flexors back here and your inner thigh. Nice and easy. If at first you need to use a chair, that's groovy. Don't worry about it. Use that chair. Remember, you're a genius. You can do this. And then you're just kind of taking your time over like that. And bam. Take your time. Don't be afraid to take a break. So, ooh, how does that feel? Well, that doesn't feel too bad. You're doing it. At first it may be a little sore. Take your time. Just nice and easy. That's what you're trying to do. Now, if you've got some difficulties, some hip problems and everything, take your time. Give me a call. Let's talk about this, that kind of thing. We don't want you to hurt anything, but I do want you to move it, move it, move it. Now, this little thing, I love these things. They're wonderful. You can get them almost anywhere. You can get them online for sure. Get them all over the place. And some of them have a lot of resistance. Some have, I think this one's kind of light, as a matter of fact. That's what, yeah, it says light right there. Nice and easy. So what you can do, pardon me, while I step in to my resistance, right here. There you go. And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to step right in here, like this. And then if I want to just kind of walk with this, I can do it. I can leave it here, or I can bring it up right above my knee. Nice and easy. I'm in kind of my squat mode. Once again, not over here, but you want to kind of sit back. Kind of get that scoop groove going. Sit back. You'll get used to it. And you can kind of move. Boom. 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 Nice and easy. Boom. 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 You can go fast or slow. I like to keep the tempo kind of slow at first. Boom. 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 There's all kind of things you can do. That resistance is wonderful for you. Just put that puppy on there. Boom. And you can do this right in the house. You don't have to do big steps. It's nice and easy. Take your time. When you get done, you're going to feel absolutely wonderful. Remember there, you've got to believe, okay? I believe in you. I know you can do it. So think positive. Take it easy. Take a deep breath. Bam. Never give up on yourself. I'm sending you positive vibes and super prayers.